Welcome back to another episode of ChadrickTech. Today we're going to look at part 2 of results. I've laid this out a little differently. We're looking at the AM5 platform, and when you're doing custom water loop and what blocks would be the most effective and what thermal paste or liquid metal, what situation would be best for you to run your system. I did this with the Intel side, and I'm interested in seeing the results of what we're studying here on the AM5 platform. I've set this up previously with the intention to what we were going to test, the methodology, and then part 1 was the Optimus block showdown. I thought that was a lot of fun to start with. So if you haven't, I'm not going to lean a lot on a lot of the methodology and what I set up. I will at least bring you up to speed, because if you're new to the channel, we need to get on the same page, but I'm not going to belabor it. Go back and check those videos so that we can get right to the data, which is what everybody really wants to see anyway, right? Okay, so here we are with part 2, and the test bench is the Ryzen 9 9900X. I've got the specs here for you on the screen. This is pretty standard when I'm doing my GPU testing. I locked my water flow rate at 2 liters per minute, my fans at 1300 RPMs, and that way we can sort of account for keeping the situations consistent. The hardware that we're going to test was going to be 6 blocks. 5 and 6 were the 2 Optimus blocks with the aluminum versus solid brass. You've seen the results of that. And then looking at AM5 Cool Core 1, Heat Killer 4 Pro, the EK Vector 2. These are very common, popular blocks I want to make sure we put into the mix. And then I put in the Coolants 380i. That was my very first water block that I got way back in the day. This was more for the Intel side, and I was hopeful that I'd be able to retrofit it for the AM5 platform just to see how it would work, and I couldn't get it to work on the socket. Despite getting the Thermal Grizzly, the offset mounts, and trying a plethora of hardware, it just doesn't line up. So unfortunately, it was for me, because no one's going to run out and buy a Coolants 380i water block or look for it on eBay or something. But that was just for me. That was just going to be fun. But nonetheless, the other blocks are available, actively manufactured for your purchase today. The products that we're looking at was 2 different pastes, the Hydronaut, the Duranaut, just to see what the differences would be, and the Conductinaut Extreme, the liquid metal product. Now, this presentation was focused on how do I set up the loop and keep my warranty. For reference, putting liquid metal on top of the OEM IHS does not keep your warranty. That voids your warranty. But I think everybody here can agree, or at least I hope we can come on the same page, that liquid metal is superior to thermal paste at its cooling properties. If you haven't come to that conclusion, go back, check some of my other videos on the Intel side. There's good analysis there, and we're doing the analysis here on the AM5. Maybe if you don't believe me, you'll believe me after this study is complete. So anyway, I wanted to include liquid metal because this is the last step before I delid the CPU. And I wanted to see what liquid metal on top of that thicker IHS would do in terms of heat transfer compared to paste. But you would at least get a good idea of what's the best that you could offer and how far behind is paste. And you can keep your warranty and be happy with your system. The software I'm going to use is listed for you here. Take a pause, look it over. I'm not going to read to you. That'd be insulting. The versions are listed for you and how long these tests lasted. Now, when we're going to look at temperature, we're going to use 5 tests. Of these 5 tests, they were variations of the performance test was just a CPU run. Everything else was a 10-minute test. And I normalized my water temps. I think this is a very important variable that you need to make sure you account for, normalizing temps, because ambient temperature of your water loop will affect your temperatures of your loop, right? And if you're pushing the limits, you use liquid nitrogen or a chiller and drop your water temps sometimes below freezing, and you can really push the CPU. Well, if you don't do that on a lesser scale and to at least normalize your ambient temperatures with your water temps, then you don't really have a comparison of apples to apples. So we've normalized the results to 22 degrees And then now we can directly compare our temps. And then we took an average of all of those setups, and we will move forward with a mean. And who cares if it runs cool if it doesn't run fast, right? You could have the coolest setup in the world. If it's slow as a dog, you don't want that setup either, right? So of these three tests, we then would look at the performance score and compare the performance score with the temperature score. The OEM settings, now of all of those tests I did, I ran through with OEM settings and I did it again with PBO. So every test was done twice, basically. So the OEM settings was plug the CPU in the BIOS, no changes, enable XMP profile 1. That's it. PBO settings, and I've went over this before, I'm not going to belabor this. It's basically crank it up, let PBO go. We're not pulling any power. It's just let it go to 95 degrees. However hot it wants to go, let it go. It was nothing more than let's generate some heat and see where everything settles out. Looking at how we're setting these up, this is part 2, where we like warranties, right? So what the tests that are listed in white, they're ones that will keep your warranty. The ones in the bottom with liquid metal would not. They're included, as I said before, for a frame of reference of how good can you really do with the IHS in place. And I went through this before, but all the data that I collected, I normalized my water temp, and that is the data for the temperature that gets put into a table. And then you do them for every test, and then you get your mean. Okay, here are the temperatures, here's the data. That's what you want to see, right? Okay. OEM settings. Enabling XMP profile only. You're using contact frame, the OEM IHS. It's the OEM solder. You've got a warranty as long as you're not using liquid metal. How well do you do? And Hydronaut took the lowest temps outside the liquid metal, which that's surprising, but Hydronaut's a good paste, right? Duranaut, a little further down the list, but they're all right there. They're all within like 5 degrees, right? So that Heat Killer 4 and the Optimus blocks really do really well here. The Heat Killer didn't fare as well in my Intel comparison, and this is the same block. I just didn't use it in the Intel side because I didn't really like its performance. There's a lot of water-cooled Heat Killer fans out there, and I think they make a great product. I'm not bashing on it. Here, it really did well on the AM5 platform. For whatever reason, it really pulled its weight. And then you can see where the other blocks sort of fall out. If you haven't seen the head-to-head comparison with the Optimus blocks, you will see a liquid metal Optimus aluminum, and where these temperatures are really high and the performance is really kind of dropped off and it didn't pull a lot of watts, especially when you get into PBO. Again, I left it in there because I wanted to show you how finicky liquid metal could be in order to get good contact and good connection for the heat transfer. And where my challenges might be, I'm not going to rehash that. Please go back and check that out. But suffice it to say, this doesn't mean that liquid metal doesn't work. This is what happens when you don't get good contact, and I use it as a teaching tool of how you should do it. I even put a video out on how you should apply liquid metal in terms of the way I apply it and prepare the blocks for using liquid metal. And then I even did a video on cleanup, because cleanup is a little different too. So all of that's out there. I'm not going to talk about that today, but I just want to focus on Hydronaut really did good for the OEM. Duranaut is right there behind. Now, when you do the OEM not OEM temperatures, but when you do PBO and enable it, obviously liquid metal is the top of the list, but you can see the temperatures really went up. And Duranaut starts to separate itself. The Optimus, the Heat Killer, the Alpha Cool, they're all right there at the top with your PBO settings. And so the EK struggled a little bit, even with liquid metal. It had a very unique mounting mechanism. I may review that, but it's not a bad block. But it struggled a little bit here when you start cranking the heat. And that's irrespective of whatever thermal medium you were using. It struggled a bit. But nonetheless, still an okay block. It looks great. Just doesn't perform as well as the others, unfortunately. Now, performance when you're looking at performance, look right here at the top of the list. OEM performance settings, Duranaut with the Optimus block took the top score. Now, these scores aren't that far off, but you've got liquid metal and you got Duranaut right there in between them. And this is where I think the cream rises to the top. Duranaut was doing a better job than the Hydronaut in terms of its score. So it performed well in terms of heat dissipation and was able to let the system crank on it a little bit and still get a good score out of it. So I think this is where you're seeing the benefits of Duranaut. When you're looking at the PBO side of things and performance, again, liquid metal stays at the top of the list. I don't think that surprises anybody. But again, Duranaut is right there. With the Heat Killer 4 Pro, the EK actually did a decent job here in terms of your performance at PBO. Struggled a little bit from the heat, but it did put down a good score. And then your Heat Killer 4 and your Optimus brass blocks. I mean, all of these are good blocks. I mean, we're not, none of these are slouches. But when you've got liquid metal, this Optimus aluminum, it really couldn't pull a lot of watts. It was struggling and throttling because there wasn't good connection. And Hydronaut struggled to put down a good score. So Hydronaut, if you're going to push your system, it's going to, I think you're seeing the pace that you should probably be using. So in terms of power requirements, I didn't want to put all those charts back up again, but if you've noticed, if it's an OEM setting, you're pulling about 140 watts, give or take one or two, and then PBO is roughly 100 more watts that they throw to the CPU, and you had to deal with all that heat. Okay, so in summary here, when you're looking at an OEM setup, and you're just looking to get a good block, put it on your AM5 platform. What block do you use? What pace do you use? I tell you, the Heat Killer 4 Pro, and the hardware was really nice. I actually really enjoyed using that Heat Killer 4 Pro. It's very durable, very sturdy, very well made block. Not as heavy as the Optimus brass or some of the other ones, but it was obviously effective. And the hardware itself was mounting and working with it. It was a pleasure to use. So the Heat Killer 4 did really well. Your Optimus blocks, your Alpha Cool did really well. I think the EK sort of didn't do as well, but again, you're not far off. I mean, it laid down some good scores, and the temperatures weren't that far off. You're all within 5 degrees, and so if you're going to do an OEM setup and you like the look of that EK block, run it, grab it. All of these are very, very well done. When it comes to PBO, the best temps are your Optimus, your Heat Killer, your Alpha Cools, and your best scores, again, Optimus, Heat Killer 4, Optimus. You had a good score down here with the EK with Hydronaut, but it couldn't shed the heat well. I would stick up here, and that's my personal preference, not throwing shade against EK. You can just see the numbers. It didn't fare as well as some of the others, but you've got Optimus, Heat Killer, Alpha Cool. All these are really effective blocks. Let's look at and take the blocks out of the mix, and let's just look at the thermal compounds that we used. Again, liquid metal doesn't it voids your warranty, but the pace versus the liquid metal, I've listed the ranges and the mean if you're doing OEM, the ranges and the mean if you're going to set your PBO settings. But overall, you're looking at about a mean for the Hydronaut, about 78 degrees, 76 for the Duranaut, and then 75 for the liquid metal. So it really is not a huge separation if you're not delidding your CPU, and you're not gaining all that much to use liquid metal. If you're really trying to maximize your heat transfer, keep your warranty, pick a good block, use the Duranaut, that's probably as close as you're going to be able to get until you really go off the rails, right? So again, your Heat Killer 4 Pro, Optimus brass, excellent. All these within OEM, but really, if you're looking at OEM settings, pick any of these blocks. They're all excellent. But when you're going to push these settings and enable PBO. Now, I know you're going to do different PBO settings and you might pull some voltage or whatever, and you'll get better temperature numbers, but I wanted to see how much heat we could really generate, right? And all those temps were only really 6 degrees apart, but that's a bigger range when you're saying that they're all 20 degrees higher than OEM, right? You're throwing another 100 watts into the mix. So go back, take a peek, pick the block you like. I am really interested in seeing how things pan out here as we continue to move forward, but either paste is good at OEM. But as I said, I think your Duraknot is the paste of choice between the two if you're going to push the system and overclock. So I hope you've enjoyed at least this part 2, and go back, follow along with me. It is now time to delid this AM5, and I will video it, and if I break it, I break it. But it's time to get crazy. Delid, start looking at heat spreaders, direct die cooling, direct die frames. What can we really get out of these blocks? How much better can it be? We're going to find out together. So stick with me. Be safe. God bless.